Hey, just appreciate y'all being on here. I know it's a little bit different. Um, just start out, man. Hey, Campbell played their butts off and did a great job against us tonight. And hats off to Coach Mentor and his program and how they came in and played. And just can't give enough credit to them. As far as us, a win is a win, whether it's by 1 point or whether it's by 50 points. Did we play well? No. Can we play better? Sure, no doubt. We got to clean a lot of things up. A lot of self-inflicted wounds tonight. A lot of mental errors by our guys. A lot of mental errors by coaches. A lot of mental errors by myself, by me. Just a lot of different things that we got to be a lot cleaner on, especially with FAU coming to town. Want to shout out to Eagle Nation. Man, I tell you, you could hear it. You could hear the energy. Didn't know how it was going to be. Felt strongly that we would, have that noise, have that power pulsing. But shout out to Eagle Nation because they did show up and show out. And I just keep, encouraging them to keep coming because we love it. Our guys love it, and we sure do appreciate it. So I'll open it up to questions.
Coach, were you surprised that they went for two at the end of the game there?
I was not. Anytime you're on the road, and obviously an underdog, and you got a chance to win it in the end and not go into overtime, I definitely think that was the right call.
Coach, it seemed like you guys came out a little flat. I know the players didn't find out until right before game time that 33 players were going to be missing the game. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, our guys knew all week, because our guys, we knew exactly what we were dealing with. We got our test results back on Friday. We had awesome test results. So we didn't lose anybody this week. Our 33 guys are a combination of injuries, a little bit of COVID, a lot of contact tracing, suspension, a couple suspensions, things like that. So our guys knew what we were doing. I mean, we last 2 weeks we've had awesome test results. So our guys knew what was going on. So I don't think that had anything to do with it. I don't think the lightning delay had anything to do with it because we do that every day during practice. We have lightning delays and then we go back and practice. So I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out though because we can't start like that against FAU.
Coach, with the 14-day quarantine, is there a calendar where you know when players are coming back?
Yes. Our head athletic trainer, Bryce Sawyer, does a good job. He gives us a spreadsheet that tells them when they started quarantine, when they'll get out. If we have a guy in self-isolation, we understand when they come back, when they do their return to play protocol, things like that. So we got a good idea of when guys are coming back. But the thing is, with what's going on, it could change every week. And, when roommates are automatic contacts, regardless if they've been 6 feet wearing a mask, regardless if they've been in the room, which there ain't much you can do about that, they're automatically out. So, that's something that we just got to deal with every week. And that's why, and we've always talked this way, but it's very, very real this year. Next man up. We played a lot of young guys tonight. We played a lot of rookies. And they'll be better next week because now they got their first taste of it. We played a lot of guys that maybe played a little bit last year too. So again, that's what we're dealing with. And I love it. That just means our team's going to gain experience. We're going to have a lot of young guys that's going to have to step up. And that's going to help our program.
Coach, did any of those players stand out to you, the ones who had to step up and fill in?
Say it one more time.
Did any of those players stand out to you, the ones that had to fill in?
I saw Tyler Bride make some plays. He was a guy that really jumped out to me on defense, made some big tackles, made some pass breakups, made some mistakes too. A lot of young guys on special teams stepped up, made some plays. But Tyler Bride's one that comes to mind right away.
What was the message there at halftime? You're down at home, season opener. A lot of factors and everything like we've said, but, what was your message there to the guys?
You know what? I wanted to make sure that we stayed positive. It would have been real easy. It would have been real easy to go in there and get negative and say, this ain't Georgia Southern football. We're not playing the way we should play. It could have been real easy to do that. But when I walked in, those guys were saying the right things. They were talking to one another, and they were in the right frame of mind. So I encouraged them. And I said, look, we've had self-inflicted wounds in this game that has put us in a hole. And I challenged them to go out and get the kickoff return, go down the field and score. We didn't do it. We fumbled, and we let them score again. But after that one, guys played their butts off and came back and got the win.
Coach Shai seemed to put the team on his back for a couple of drives there when the team was kind of in the hole, needing a response. And then towards the end, some of his decision-making with the option pitches. What do you make of his performance tonight and the way he kind of lifted that team up, even beyond that touchdown run?
I think his leadership was invaluable. He was a dog tonight, and I mean, you saw his heart come out. And he's a very vocal leader now. He's not always been that, but he's definitely stepped that game up. I thought, when he got that hit over there on their sideline, I'm not sure if it was laid or whatnot, but he took a pretty big shot on his shoulder when he landed on it. And he came back, and it was his throwing shoulder. And when he came back, he played his butt off. So I think he did a good job, and I think he'll continue to grow, and he'll continue to lead this team.
J.D. King scoring there, and also, being that crazy block there on Shai's touchdown run. I think it just speaks to, the next man up, and that even though you might not get, the score, I think everybody plays a part. Can you just talk about, how J.D. King played and how the offense continued to step up despite having a lot of guys that weren't there?
Yeah, J.D. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Like, JD's, in my opinion, is in a different mindset this year. He was last year going into that first game. He got ruled eligible that week, and he didn't think he was going to play. He thought he was going to be ineligible for the year for the transfer. This guy right here comes out and practices like no other. And he holds people accountable at practice. So it doesn't surprise me to see him downfield making a block, carrying a block all the way into the end zone to allow Shai to score, because that's what it's all about. And if you look closely at this tape, you're gonna see a lot of other things that J.D. King did that really stood out. I mean, there was times in the game I turned around to guys and I said, y'all watch how J.D. King plays, and if we can get the rest of us playing like that, we'll have something special.
Coach, what are your biggest concerns after today's game?
I think youth. I think we're going to have to be very, very smart in the defensive secondary. We're going to have to be very smart with what we're going to call with them and make sure that they're locked in. The one thing that I think with our young guys now that they're going to have to step up and play is they got to be locked in all week. There was a few times this week where, I had to make sure that they understood that this, when we play this game, what we're doing right now is not going to work. We got to be better with our eyes. I mean, we were not recognizing some things. We were not playing the call out like we should. And we got to be smart as coaches. When we play inexperienced guys, we got to make sure they're ready and they can do what we're asking them to do.
Coach, with that 33-man inactive and you said a lot of it's contact tracing. Do you see any of that stuff when you look at it now? Is any of that stuff preventable, or is this just unlucky breaks that are happening to some of your guys? Because I know, with being on a college campus, you can come in contact with someone inadvertently, and that would put you in contact tracing somehow. Is any of this stuff preventable, or is this just a sign of the times with you're going to have to deal with this every week?
The majority of it, I will say, we've had a couple mishaps where guys, not like going out or something like that, but maybe was hanging out close to a guy that maybe test positive, right? The majority of our guys are roommates. And like the unfortunate part, we would have a little bit more luxury if we had them on campus to be able to move them. Unfortunately, these guys have got leases signed. In apartment complexes, it's kind of hard to move guys and try to strategically place them. So a lot of that's what we're battling right now. We're trying to, do the best we can. if a guy's got symptoms, man, we go sleep on somebody else's couch. You know, I mean, there's all kind of things that we're trying to do. You know, but also our guys have got to live right. They got to make sure they're going to school, doing those things right. And I don't want to put them at a disadvantage because I'm going to ask them to go sleep on somebody else's couch. You know, so I don't know all the answers. I know we're doing the best we can to try to keep those guys safe and healthy and not put them in a position to get knocked out of a football game because of contact tracing.
Coach, is there anybody who was on the list of 33 that you know is coming back, and what are they coming back from? Like maybe there was an injured player that wasn't ready to play today, but you expect him to be back next week?
Yeah, there's a few people. I can't really talk about the situation legally, but there are guys we're going to gain back. We actually had some guys out there today that possibly could have went, but like when you see the release, it says coach's discretion. I can't put a guy out there on the field if he's been in quarantine for 14 days and hadn't had the ability to stay in shape or, you know, have the ability to get their bodies right, not be in meetings, you know, in the mind. You know, I don't want to put them out there like that and risk their health in the long run throughout the season. But we will get some guys back and that'll be good, but we're going to be smart every week. We're not going to put somebody in a situation where they can't perform.
Okay. And a bunch of the guys that talked tonight already talked about being ourselves, playing Georgia Southern football. Is that what was kind of in everybody's mind, that no matter how rough the start was, as long as we keep at it, we're going to wear them down, and by the fourth quarter, we're going to be playing the way we want to play?
Okay, so there's two things I look at with Georgia Southern football. Every single game, I would love to dominate the teams we play. And that's what, you know, in the past, you know, there's a lot of domination that's going on with Georgia Southern football. Moving up to FBS, you know, it's a little bit different. And, you know, I just think that the ability to stay at it, you know, play the next play, reset, and then impose your will on somebody. Because, I mean, guys, if you look at this game and you take out that last touchdown by Campbell, we took that whole fourth quarter over, and our offense broke them. Now, we had the opportunity to put the game away, and we didn't on that one drive, and then we gave up that touchdown, which is not Georgia Southern football, in my opinion. Georgia Southern football is about breaking them at the end and make sure we finish them.
Coach, you know, all preseasons, there's been, you know, different guys that have taken snaps at kicking and everything, and you know, Alex getting the field goals, and then, you know, Dylan doing kickoffs. Is that something that's going to continue for the rest of the season?
Yeah, you know, Alex was dealing with an injury this summer. Honestly, he's only kicked for a week. And I think that's pretty impressive, that guy to go out there and kick those field goals and those extra points for us. But he's not ready to kick off yet. I thought Dylan did a really good job with his kickoffs. Going, you know, with the wind, he got all touchbacks. Going against the wind, he hung it up pretty high. And I think all of our tackles on kickoff was inside the 25, I think. I may be wrong on one, but and that's always the goal. We either want a touchback and they start on the 25, or they try to return it and we tackle them inside the 25. But I don't see that changing. I think Dylan's our kickoff guy. He's got a really strong leg. I think this is a good way to break a rookie in. And, you know, and I think Alex showed that he could kick field goals in a game. So.
In a close game at that, it wasn't, you know, a
No
gimme.
question. No question. Needed all of them. Come on, y'all give me something else. What y'all got?
All right, I got one more for you. I don't mean to
Do it,
beat
Josh.
a dead horse. I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but
Beat it. Let's go.
is there any thought to spreading out your roommates situation where the guys are not with, you know, like I know a lot of times the D-liner want to be with the D-line and the kickers and the punters are together. Have you tried to maybe move it around where some starters are with some may not play a lot so that you don't run into this kind of situation?
Yeah, I would love to. Here's the problem. We signed leases back last October. So the leases got signed before the pandemic. And it's really hard on off campus, to get them to be able to move our guys. We definitely are trying. We're trying to do those things. But when they're off campus, there's not a whole lot of control we have over that. There's definitely thought of it. There's definitely, and I guess we could tell somebody, hey, you go stay over here, you go stay over there. But as soon as we start breaking leases and things like that, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, there's just a lot of things that we have to deal with right now.
Coach, I know the message after a win is usually go celebrate. What's the message after a win in 2020? Go
home, go to sleep, start over tomorrow. I did tell him, and I almost jacked it up. Because usually, it's great to be an Eagle on a Saturday night after a W, man. But, I did tell him, I said, look, if we want to do something this year, if we want to try to win some football games and go do and accomplish the goals that you want to do, we can't put ourselves at risk. We can't go out and party. We can't be at a pool party. We can't do all this kind of stuff. And I think our guys are understanding that. We'll see. It's hard to, when you got 18 to 22-year-olds and, you can't be with them 24 hours a day. But I do think our guys care about our football team and care about what we're going to do. So I expect them to do right.
I was going to say, Coach, what does that say about their level of maturity and just their commitment to get back to play this season?
Well, I think that's a great question because I don't want to lose sight of that. Guys, we didn't have these guys for 4 months. We broke spring practice after 6 practices, and then we didn't get them back. We brought some back on June 1st, and then we staggered some waves in. We didn't have 100% come back because there were some that were a little bit worried about coming back during the pandemic, and I was definitely not going to make them come back in a voluntary setting. We got into a mandatory, and we got everybody back. Normally we got a January through July to get our bodies and everything ready. And really July 24th was the first time that we could start some ball. And, to come out and play and get a win and be around the guys and get to play a game, holy smokes, man. We do got to look at the positive on that because, 2 months ago, you might have said we never would have played this game. And I told him, I said, man, let's don't take anything for granted because you never know when it's going to be your last one. So I'm proud of them, man. I know there may be a lot of people out there say, no, you shouldn't beat Campbell by 1 point. And I get it. Yeah, you're right. Georgia Southern, we shouldn't. But, hey, we got the W, and I'm not going to take it away from those guys.
Do you think your Lakers are going to win the finals?
I do. I hadn't got to watch it, man, and it's kind of weird, man. They need to do 25% attendance. They may have power of Paulson like we got it. But yes, they're going to win it. All right, we done? Josh, you ain't got a hard one? Brian Johnson wants to go home. So
unless you want to talk about Louisiana beating Iowa State.
Nah, that's okay. I got to get working on FAU. All right. Thank y'all. GATA.